It's time to ramble once again, my chum. That's right. We got a problem. And once again, it's with fucking Raw. Now, SmackDown does this a little bit. But you know what? SmackDown right now at this moment is doing pretty good. Yeah. They're entertaining.
It's fun.
Even their low moments, they know how to laugh at themselves. Raw, on the other hand, shit on a stick. I would rather sit on a thorny cactus than watch Raw voluntarily. And yet every week I do it. And I guess that's how we, the wrestling fans, are fools. Because wrestling, or WWE I should say, knows...
They'll just watch it.
They're going to watch it anyway. Yeah. Whatever.
They're going to cry about it. They're going to be jealous and lame. But they're still going to watch it. I'm
going to be straight up. There was a period of time where I just stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for NXT... Honestly, as fun as SmackDown is sometimes, if it weren't for NXT, I would have just stopped.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of the NXT talent has moved up to the roster, I'm kind of stuck on hoping that they'll get their day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look that way. But the point is, we're talking about some of these talents that have gone up. And also, because it links to it, what they're doing with them in regards to tag teams and stables.
Yeah.
Now, you know... as well as anybody that knows me, and maybe if you watch some of our previous videos, you know that Ruby Riott is my wife, and I want to marry her, even though she's apparently already my wife. I would lick her butthole. Yeah. But that's not the point. The butthole licking aside...
Her non-boobs.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that likes her vulture face, okay? Sue me. But the point...
Sue me?
not the sumo wrestler. That point aside, the fact that I would totally wash her bunghole with my tongue aside... She is an incredibly talented wrestler. But anybody that didn't watch her in the Indies or NXT and just watched her on WWE was probably going, why are these people here?
Yeah.
Who is this Riot Squad? Why are they supposed to be a threat? Because they always lose. I don't get it. Why does she have such a limited moveset if she is the leader of this Riot Squad? What does this person have to do with this person have to do with this person? They're asking these questions and more because the way the Riot Squad was presented to the mainstream made absolutely no sense. Continues to make little sense.
Yeah.
And honestly ruined a great wrestler at this point. It might get right. They might fix it. But it's looking bleak.
It's looking like they're just using them as transitional feuds at this point.
Yes, they're just filler. They're squash match filler right now.
Yeah.
And it's sad because, look, most people, especially back in the old days of wrestling, when a new character came in, they came in with a push behind them to give them a shot. These girls came in with no push.
Yeah.
They were oh, that's the Riot Squad. They came here to, be chaotic and anarchic.
Yeah.
But
we who watch NXT, we know these people.
Yeah.
We were confused.
Yeah, we were like, why?
We were like, why is Liv Morgan there? She sucked because she sucked really bad. Not really bad, but she wasn't great in NXT.
Well, that aside, they build them as this is a threat, but then they lost from the get-go. Okay, so then we go to that. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, we didn't have a problem with them, don't get us wrong, but they weren't ready to be on the main roster. It was
confusing why they were there.
And why were they with Ruby? And now if you're wondering that, because if you haven't seen NXT, Ruby was a face up to the day she left NXT. Sonya Deville was her last match in NXT, and Sonya was a heel, and she continues to be a heel. But Ruby was not. And all of a sudden she comes and she is a completely different character.
To make it worse, they for the way they were airing things, she was still showing up in NXT
as a face
while she was a heel on Raw.
Yes. So it made no sense. To the viewers that saw NXT, why is she a heel? Why? And why does she all of a sudden have a friendship with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan? And why, if they're a fucking stable, do they not have a unifying theme?
Yeah.
They're the Riot Squad.
But one of them is a freaking Viking hillbilly.
And the other one's a athletic girl, I guess.
Who looks like an alien, gets kicked in the face by Brie.
I don't understand what they have to do with each other. There's no substance as to why their friendship would be a thing.
Yeah, I know they're friends in real life, but that's not
that's not
basis
the point
for freaking putting a stable together.
So, and they don't even bother to give them clothes that match.
No.
It's just, nowadays they're wearing a Riot Squad shirt over their old gear.
Yeah.
What does that do? I don't get it. And now, they've done the best that they can with whatever little crumbs they've been handed. But again, there's not much they can do if they're being booked to lose. How are they supposed to be a threat if they're always losing? That's not how it used to work. It's not how it works. It's not how it'll ever work. It's always supposed to be the heel getting advantage over you until the babyface comes up and claims victory and everybody's happy and relieved.
Tommaso Ciampa style.
They don't even get 50-50 booking.
Nope.
They just get their shit on. So how am I supposed to be interested in a match where the heels are no threat at all whatsoever?
Yeah. And
then the few occasions they do win,
they get shit on the entire match, and then they freaking slink off all defeated and like...
Yeah, it's like a last-minute win.
Yeah.
And here's a huge complaint for me. You know as well as I, and anybody that watched NXT or maybe her in the Indies, that Ruby has an extensive arsenal of moves. All gone.
Nope. She's just,
She's just a chick.
3-move.
That does stuff and riot kicks on occasion. That's it. That's about it.
She's got a Viking guy.
Sarah, and then I will say Sarah and Liv have gotten exponentially better.
Yeah.
They're way better.
They're really good at taking kicks in the head.
They're experts at that.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is they could have something, but they choose to not do anything with it.
Yeah.
And that turns our attention to Bobby Roode. One of the best heels NXT had. A perfect embodiment of that egotistical, narcissistic, prideful, rich asshole gimmick. Your Ric Flairs, all that jazz. The flashy type. The great entrance
Your
music.
Little Naches.
Lil Nate is more like a turd. But the point is, this guy had potential to be the next Ric Flair.
Next Lil Nate.
Maybe he could get his own like Lil Rude.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's Danny DeVito.
Damn it! That would be the greatest tag team known to man.
He's little and he's rude and that's it. There's maybe he has the mustache, maybe. He's definitely not physically fit. But the point is, Bobby Roode had the potential to be like a next Ric Flair, okay? And he had the looks, he had the charisma, he had the delivery, mic skills, the works. And he's a decent wrestler. He's not a flashy wrestler. There's nothing special about his
like
wrestling.
A throwback, yeah.
It's very old school style, but he worked as a character, especially as a heel. Guess what? He moves from NXT to main roster, and they babyface his ass, and he is horrid.
Made a whole video about it.
He's fucking abysmal, and that's not it. That's just not it. That's not where it ends. They weren't happy with just making him terrible. They now don't know what to do with him because they're like, oh, how can our good guy experience not work? Well, that's because he wasn't good as a good guy. Change him. No, they stuck him with Chad Gable.
Yeah, admittedly, that change to a babyface did start in SmackDown. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, now they're just freaking like... They were in feces. Now they're going freaking down. They're submarining into the crap.
Yeah.
And just making them complete garbage.
They've avoided the fecal route and just gone straight up the pooper because shit... Chad Gable is incredibly talented, and him and Benjamin should have never been broken up just like that for no reason. There should have been a feud between them. There should have been something prolonged there.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just like, I guess he's over here now, and okay, now we don't know what to do with him. And guess what? Now he's with Bobby Roode, and they're super optimistic guys, and their matches get cut out of reruns.
Yeah.
Because who cares? Terrible, man.
Yeah.
Terrible. I don't understand what this thing is. They're not ready. The thing is, they have too much talent, and they keep on buying talent.
Yes.
And they don't stagger their shows, so they try to stuff everything into one show, and people get ignored forever. And I realize that in wrestling, there's a tradition where if you come in, you have to earn your place again.
Yeah, but there's no
That's
way
gotta die.
There's people are never gonna rise if they just keep burying them. Like, for example, me and Guardian were watching NXT before you joined us, more regularly, and we really liked the Revival. They were cool. They weren't great characters, but they were great wrestlers,
right?
And they had great matches. And now they're just freaking garbage. Every time they come out, it's sad. Like, again, the characters aren't great, but they were really good in ring, and now it's just like, No, they're gonna lose.
And you could say the same for Ascension.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them on the same technical level, but
Finn Balor.
Finn's a whole. That's a monster all of its own.
Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, Finn.
Asuka.
Yeah.
Undefeated streak. And good. Fine, she lost to Charlotte. That's somebody that's a good person to lose to. You could see that loss. But she shouldn't have lost, one. But let's say we get over that, which we did. What was that thing afterwards?
Yeah.
Carmella?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And we're not hating on Carmella.
It just didn't...
I actually find Carmella pretty amusing. But the
bad,
point is, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. Now I kind of like
How are you going to get her out of that?
I kind of like her current, like, kind of like childish glee.
I do, but I don't. Because we know the potential and how it's being squandered.
Yeah. That's the tragic part. But it's cute.
This is happening.
Then we have Ty Dillinger, who's like a non-character now. This is a problem throughout both brands.
Both brands, I will say SmackDown is handling it better. They do seem aware of the people that are there and are eventually slowly bringing them into storylines. That's good.
This is something we noticed when watching a SmackDown recently with Ty Dillinger having a match. He's losing every match he's in, basically, but he doesn't look weak.
Yeah.
He has good matches and then loses by some shenanigans.
Right.
So even though he is not on freaking TV, basically, and is losing whenever he is on TV, he doesn't look like shit. He's not losing or he is losing, but he doesn't look like garbage like the Revival. He doesn't look like freaking garbage like the Riot Squad. They're not completely burying him. He's just not on TV, unfortunately.
And we've addressed the problem with this before in other videos. It's as easy as staggered shows.
Yes.
Have a roster 1 week on, 1 week off for both shows. That way you can show everybody on a one week off, 1 week on basis.
People aren't gonna forget 1 week to the next.
And that's the issue right there. WWE thinks the audience is dumb when the audience. And look, I grant you, back in the day, people thought that the fucking shit was real.
Yeah.
Which is lame. I was a kid and I was like, this is fake.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that thought it was real. I'm sure there's still people that think it's real today. The point is, the bulk of the audience is a lot more savvy now.
Yeah.
And there's this resentment among wrestlers and staff where they're like the marks. They think they know everything. Yeah. And I understand we don't know everything.
They're catering to the dumbest, non-existent audience.
Yes.
That they think they're just going to forget everything.
Yeah.
That's not how people are.
Yeah, man. You can't... I'm not saying you have to make a script worthy of fucking Hemingway here. I'm just saying this is basement level dumb shit you're pulling, and it's not convincing.
No.
In the least. And you're destroying great characters that people want to see succeed for the sake of other people. Yeah. Now, at the moment, the problem is really evident on Raw. And SmackDown, of course, the issues with NXT talent coming up are there too, but like I said, they're at least trying to get them in some way. Over here on Raw, it's abysmal and it's tragic. And again, since it's the face of the entire industry for them, well, you'd think they'd fix that, but they don't, and it doesn't look to be getting any better, and it's incredibly frustrating. And the more talent that they sign, the more it almost feels like I don't want to get invested in people because I know they will be ruined.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I don't want people to be called up. I just want them to stay in NXT.
Yes, and maybe that's the solution. Maybe NXT should be its own entity.
Yeah.
Its own promotion with a harder edge and a more serious approach to the material. It just should be. And that would solve a lot of issues. And honestly, it would stop me from watching Raw because fuck that shit at this particular moment. Although I kind of want to watch because of Ronda and stuff. But the point is, this is a fucking issue. Anyway, tell us what you think about this damn problem. This has been Ahab and the Goon Tick. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons because we will ramble again.